A very good morning to all of you. So, in the last class, we were discussing about the most important compounds of hydrogen, in which we have discussed about the water. Water is the most important compound of hydrogen. Okay, so water are of two types. It may be hard water or soft water. Okay, now how can we check that the water is hard or soft? So we take the help of soap solution. The water which can easily form lather with soap solution are known as soft water, and the water which is not able to form lather with the soap solution is known as hard water. Okay, so firstly, what is soft water? Which the water which can easily form lather with the soap solution. Okay, the water which can easily form lather with the soap solution is called as soft water. Okay, and the second one is hard water. The water which can the water which fails to form lather with the soap solution, or lather is not formed easily. Okay, is in, is called as hard water. Okay, so the main difference between soft water and hard water is that soft water can easily form lather with the soap solution, but in order to form lather in hard water, we have to use a large amount of soap solution. Okay, which is not very efficient. Okay, which is not very efficient. Now, what are the reasons why this hard water is not able to form lather with the soap solution? So let us discuss about the hardness of water. Okay, what are the causes of this hardness, and how many types of hardness uh, we have in hard water? Okay, so there are two types of hardness. Hardness of water. Okay, so there are two types of hardness. The first one is temporary hardness, and the second one is permanent hardness. Okay, so temporary hardness is due to the presence of bicarbonate ions. Bicarbonate ions. Okay, due to the presence of bicarbonate ions of magnesium and calcium of Mg and Ca. Similarly, permanent hardness is due to the presence of chlorides and sulfates. Chlorides and sulfates of magnesium and calcium. Okay, so the formulas of bicarbonates are MgHCO3 twice. Okay, this can be present, and similarly we have calcium bicarbonate. Okay, so these are the two ions which are responsible for the temporary hardness. Similarly, for permanent hardness, we have MgCl2, CaCl2 may be present, and MgSO4 may be present, and CaSO4 may be present. Okay, so in order to make the water soft, we have to remove these ions. Okay, these ions would not be present in the water in order to make it soft, in order to make lather with soap solution easily. Okay, now how can we remove this hardness of water? Okay, because it is our need to remove the hardness, because if we want to make lather in soap solution in hard water, okay, with the help of a soap solution, we have to use a large amount of soap, okay, which is not very efficient method. Okay, so it is just a wastage of a large amount of soap. So it is easy to make the water soft before using for any purposes. Okay, so how can we remove the hardness? Firstly, let us discuss the method to remove the temporary hardness. So the first method to remove the temporary hardness is just by boiling. Okay, so temporary hardness can be easily removed by boiling the water. So removal of hardness. First is temporary hardness. Okay, temporary hardness, and in which the first method is just by boiling. Okay, by boiling. Okay, so by boiling, as we know that the main cause of temporary hardness are the bicarbonates. So when we boil the hard water, the bicarbonates ions which are present in the form of calcium and magnesium, okay, when we provide heat, they gets converted into calcium carbonate, which will settle down. Okay, calcium carbonate बनेगा. Okay, from calcium bicarbonate plus CO2 gas plus water. Okay, so due to the formation of this calcium carbonate in the form of precipitate, this calcium carbonate will settle down, and we can easily separate this calcium carbonate by filtration from the soft water. Okay, and we can easily get our soft water. Similarly, magnesium bicarbonate will undergo the same reaction, in which magnesium carbonate is will be formed. Okay, in the form of white PPT. So these will settle down, and we can easily separate them out. This is the first method. The second method is by Clark's method. By Clark's method. Okay, so this method is also known as lime process. Okay, because in this method we use quick lime process. So the first step is reaction of quick lime with water to form slaked lime or lime water. Okay, so CaO, that is quick lime plus water, gives calcium hydroxide, which is known as lime water or slaked lime. Then this calcium hydroxide react with the hard water. Okay, and the ions which are present in hard water are, for example, we have calcium bicarbonate react with this calcium hydroxide with lime water, gives again calcium carbonate. Okay, twice plus water. Okay, 2 molecular water we get. Okay, so this is the whole reaction. Again, this calcium carbonate is in the form of PPT, and we can easily separate it out by filtration. Okay, so these are the two main important methods in which Clark process is more efficient, because with the help of calcium carbonate we can easily precipitate a large amount of calcium carbonate. Okay, so by boiling there may be some chances that this calcium bicarbonate cannot get completely converted into calcium carbonate, but by the help of this reagent, that is calcium hydroxide, we can easily convert all the bicarbonate into carbonate. So this is a very efficient method, and it is used in laboratory also in order to remove the temporary hardness. But this method cannot be used to remove the permanent hardness, because this lime can easily remove bicarbonate, but it cannot remove calcium and sulfates. Okay, So let us discuss the methods for removing the permanent hardness. So there are some hectic methods also, okay, but all are used in laboratory. We can easily use, and these methods are not so we can say not so they are uh, they are quite efficient, okay. Permanent for second is for removing the permanent hardness. The first method is soda lime process, okay. Soda lime process. So this is also a very important method. This is the first method, and we can easily remove permanent hardness with the help of this method. This method is used to remove both the permanent and temporary hardness, okay. Because here we have lime, and that is calcium hydroxide, okay. So with the help of this calcium hydroxide we can easily remove temporary hardness. We can easily remove the bicarbonate, and with the help of this soda, that is Na2CO3, we can easily remove the permanent hardness, okay. So as we add this soda lime into hard water, this soda can easily react with calcium chloride, okay, and magnesium sulfate or any other ions which are present, uh, to give calcium carbonate again. This will settle down, and we will get 2NaCl, which is in aqueous, okay, which is soluble, and it will not you can say create obstruction in the formation of lather with soap, okay. So and if we have magnesium sulfate, so magnesium sulfate can also react with Na2CO3 to give MgCO3, which will precipitate, and we have Na2SO4, which is soluble, okay. So with the help of this soda lime process, we can easily remove both the temporary as well as permanent hardness, okay. And it is not so much expensive also. So these all methods are not so much expensive, and they are also quite efficient, okay. So we can easily use these methods in some small labs also. uh, in school labs also we can easily remove the hardness of water with the help of this soda lime process, because these reagents can they can easily available in school labs also, okay. Sodium carbonate and calcium hydroxide, they are easily available in school labs also. So we can easily remove do experiments to remove the hardness in school labs also. Now the second method is known as permutate method, okay. And actually there are two methods. The method is by ion exchange method, in which we have two other methods. Two methods, we can easily exchange the ions, as the name itself suggests that we have to exchange the ions, okay, by ion exchange method. So in which first method is permutate method or permutate process. Now what is this permutate? So permutate is actually a brand name, okay. Permutate method, uh, permutate method. Now we can easily exchange the ions, as we all know that calcium and magnesium ion are responsible for the hardness of water. So if we exchange this calcium and magnesium ion with sodium ion, because sodium ion cannot create obstruction in the formation of lather, so we can easily exchange this calcium and magnesium ion with sodium ion, okay. So in order to exchange these ions, we use a complex ion, a natural complex ion known as zeolite, okay. Zeolite is used in petroleum industry in order to form gasoline, okay. So zeolite ZSM, I think 15 के नेम से आता है, ट्रेडमार्क है. So zeolite, the formula of zeolite is, they are sodium aluminium silicate, okay. They are sodium aluminium silicate with X molecule of water, okay, with X molecule of water. So this is the formula, and the short form of this formula is Na2Z. Don't need to write this whole formula, okay. This is abbreviated as Z, Na2Z. Okay, so and we can easily prepare this. This is natural complex ion. Okay, this is natural complex ion which is present. Okay, and we can easily prepare it artificially, which is known as permutate, and they have the same formula. So we can easily prepare it by reacting Na2CO3 with Al2O3 plus SiO2. Okay, SiO2 with water. Okay, and the insoluble particles which remain in the solution can be easily removed with the help of this water. Okay, and this whole is known as permutate, and the general formula for this permutate is also Na2Z. So we can easily use this formula while writing the chemical equations. Okay, don't need to write this formula again and again, just mention it in the starting. Okay, now the reaction is, as we all know, there are calcium and magnesium ion present. So when this permutate or zeolite uh, react with this calcium and magnesium ion, uh, they will exchange, the ions will exchange each other. For example, we have Na2Z plus calcium sulfate. Okay, so the reaction will be CaZ plus Na2SO4. Okay, now this cannot create obstruction in the formation of lather. Okay, similarly, if we have MgCl2, so MgZ plus Na, uh, MgCl2 NaCl. Okay, so these are the two reactions, and the whole apparatus, the experimental setup is, we have to take a tank. Okay, so we have to take a tank like this. So this is a tank. Okay, in which we have, uh, in the bottom we have water. Okay, and here we have an outlet in order to remove all the impurities. This is the outlet for impurities. Impurities can be easily removed from this outlet, and then we have grooves. Okay, over here काफी सारे कंकड़ हैं यहाँ पे. Grooves, gravels, we have a lot of gravels. Okay, gravels, and then we have sand. Okay, a lot of sand, and then we place a layer of zeolite over the sand. Okay, we place a layer of zeolite over the sand. Zeolite. Now we enter the hard water. Okay, with the help of a cylindrical pipe to the bottom of the water which is present, and then, okay, from here we enter the hard water. Okay, so hard water, as the hard water start rising above through this gravel and sand, it react with zeolite. Okay, and here we will get the soft water. Okay, and there is also outlet for the soft water. From here we can easily get the soft water. Okay, and the soft water is, okay, we can easily get the soft water. Okay, here we have the hard water. Okay, and the whole impurities can be easily removed with the help of this outlet. Okay, now we can easily shower NaOH into it. Okay, we can also shower some NaOH in order to recover the zeolite. Okay, as we all know that these calcium and magnesium ions are formed, and uh, we can easily recover the zeolite by reacting these ions by showering NaOH. Okay, so this is the whole apparatus. Okay, now by reacting these two with NaOH like this, like we have CaZ plus NaCl. Okay, so again we will get Na2Z plus CaCl2 will leave. Okay, so we can easily recover the zeolites. Okay, so this is the first method. Now this is quite efficient method. Okay, this is also a very efficient method, but the main limitation is that it can easily exchange the positively charged ion, but it cannot exchange the negatively charged ion, like we have sulfate, chlorides and bicarbonates. But bicarbonate तो हम easily remove कर ही लेते हैं with the help of just boiling. But uh, how can we replace the chloride and sulfate ions? Okay, so the second method which we are using here is known as organic exchange method. Organic exchange method. Okay, why it is known as organic ion exchange method? Okay, why it is known as organic exchange method? Because in this we are using some organic compounds. Okay, we are using a large hydrocarbon part. Okay, so it consists of two tanks. So होता क्या है? It consists of two tanks like this. Here we have this is our first tank, and there is also a tank. They are attached with each other with the help of a pipe. Okay, so in this method, firstly this hard water enters with the help of a pipe. Okay, into it. Okay, here again we have some gravels. Okay, here we have some gravels. Okay, this is gravel. We also have an outlet of water from here, and from here this is attached to the second container. Okay, so uh, now from here hard water enters. Okay, and this hard water react with the cation exchange resin. This is known as cation exchange resin, RESIN, resins. Okay, and here the cation exchange resins are these are the carboxylic acids or sulfate ions. Okay, so we use this compound. Okay, carboxylic acid or sulfate or sulfonic acid. So we are replacing the hydrogen with the calcium. Okay, so for example, if we have calcium sulfate, so we can easily replace the calcium sulfate or magnesium chloride which are present in the hard water. Firstly, react with this cation exchange to form soluble salt. Okay, this is soluble. This is soluble, and it will not obstruct in the formation of lather. Plus, we are left with H2SO4. Okay. Similarly, if we can easily react uh, this sulfonic acid with calcium carbonate also. Okay. So if we react it with magnesium chloride, for example. Okay. So what will happen? We again get a soluble salt plus 2HCl. Okay, 2HCl will leave. So here this calcium and magnesium ions are exchanged with the hydrogen ion. Okay, with this proton H positive, and these two are soluble. So we can easily the water can easily form soap. Okay, we can easily get soft water, and then this soft water enters into the other tank there, and here we have, and we can easily shower H2SO4 and HCl also in order to get again the again this cation resin. Okay, this H2SO4 and HCl react with this soluble, and we can easily get the cation exchange resin. Now the water enters into the second container. Okay, just wait a minute. Okay, so from here the water enters into the second container, and in this container again we have some gravels over here. Okay, काफी सारे कंकड़ है यहाँ पे, and there is also an outlet for the removal of the soft water. Okay, now this soft water is free from both the cation as well as anions. Okay, there will not be any cation, calcium or magnesium ion, and it is free from all the cation as well as anions, like we have magnesium, calcium, chlorides and sulfates. Okay, now here we have anion exchange resin. Anion exchange resin. Okay, here we have anion exchange resin, in which we are using anion exchange resin as RNH3OH. Okay, we are using this as a cation anion exchange resin, and when this cation exchange resin react with the left chloride ion, okay, we can easily get RNH3Cl. Now this is soluble, and plus we are left with OH negative. Okay, OH negative will leave. Similarly, if we react it with sulfate, then we can easily replace this OH negative with SO4 2 negative. Okay, so and here we have to shower some NaOH. Okay, we have to shower some NaOH to regenerate this anion exchange. Okay, the NaOH is react with this soluble salt, and we can easily get this anion exchange resin. Okay, so this is also this is the most efficient method, organic exchange method, organic ion exchange method. We can easily remove both the anion as well as cation with the help of this method. Okay, now the last method is Calgon process. Okay, Calgon process, and then we will move on to the next compound, that is heavy water. Okay, we can easily do some reactions related to heavy water also. Okay, so heavy water is present in very small amount. Okay, now the second method is Calgon method, Calgon process, and in this process, this is a very simple process, and in this process we are using sodium hexaphosphate, sodium hexaphosphate. Okay, or we can also call it as sodium metahexaphosphate. Okay, so the formula is Na2 Na4 PO3 hexa. Okay, sodium metahexaphosphate, this is known as sodium metahexaphosphate, and when it react with the hard water, like we have calcium sulfate which is present, so this is also an ion exchange method. So actually sodium is soluble in water, so it will not create any obstruction in the formation of leather. That is why we are exchanging the ions with sodium. Okay, so calcium can easily replace this ion, and we can easily form a soluble. This is soluble, plus we are left with Na2SO4. Okay, so we are left with Na2SO4. Similarly, if we have MgCl2, so MgCl2 will also react with this ion Na2 Na4 PO3 6. Okay, so we can easily get Mg. We can easily get Na2 Mg2 PO3 6. This is also soluble. Okay, this is also water soluble, plus we are left with NaCl, 2 NaCl. Okay, so this is also an ion exchange method in which we can easily exchange the cation part. Okay, we can easily exchange only the cation part. This is known as Calgon process, and this This reagent is available under the name of Calgon. Okay, this is a trademark, that is Calgon, which is known as calcium gone. Okay, calcium gone. Okay, calcium gone. Okay, so these are the methods to remove the permanent hardness. Okay, uh, and we can easily remove the temporary hardness just by boiling or by Clark method. And for removing the permanent hardness, first method is lime soda process, and the second method is uh, ion exchange method, in which the first method is we have cation exchange method, that is permuted method. Okay, permuted process, with the help of zeolite or permuted we can easily remove the cations part. And the second method is organic ion exchange method, in which we can easily remove both the cation as well as anion. And the last method is Calgon process. Okay, so now let us discuss about the last topic, that is heavy water. So next we have heavy water. Okay, so the formula for heavy water is D2O. Okay, D2O, uh, where this D represents the isotope hydrogen, that is deuterium. Okay, and the amount of deuterium is very less in uh, if we talk about the all the isotopes. Okay, because near about 99 percent of the 99.949% is consist of the protium. Okay, now how can we prepare this heavy water? So if we do the electrolysis, the hydrogen, the protium can be easily formed. Okay, we can easily form H2 gas. The main reason is that firstly the size of H positive ion is very small as compared to this D positive ion. And the second main reason is that its reduction potential is large. Okay, its reduction potential is small, as its discharge potential is small as compared to the discharge potential of deuterium. That is why it can easily discharge and will form H2. Okay, so the reaction is 2H positive plus 2 electron gives H2. Okay, this reaction is faster as compared to this reaction. Okay, so we can also form heavy water with the help of with the help of prolonged electrolysis. Now, what is this prolonged electrolysis? Uh, Prolonged, the preparation is, the first method of preparation is by prolonged electrolysis. Okay, the prolonged electrolysis means electrolysis for a very long time. Okay, prolonged means for a long time. Okay, so why we have to use this prolonged electrolysis in place of simple electrolysis? Because the amount of deuterium is very less in simple water. Okay, so we have to use a large amount of water in order to get 99.99% D2. Okay, and near about 27,000 liter of water is used. Okay, 27,000 liter of water is used to prepare. Okay, to prepare only 1 liter of D2O. Okay, so it means we have to electrolyze 27,000 liter of simple water to get 1 liter of D2O, near about 99% pure. Okay, so the electrolysis, the apparatus is cathode, which we are using is steel. Okay, cathode is steel. This is cathode, and it is attached to a negatively charged, and here nickel is used as anode with some holes in it. Nickel is used as a anode plate. Okay, which is attached to a terminal. Okay, it will act as an anode, and here we have water. Okay, so this is the whole apparatus. Okay, it is attached to positively charged and it is negatively charged steel. Okay, so this is the whole apparatus, steel cell, and there is also outlet for the removal of gases. Okay, which are formed. Okay, so this is the first method by prolonged electrolysis. Prolonged means for a for a long time. We have to do the electrolysis in order to get 1 liter of D2O. Okay, so this is the first method. Now the second method uh, which we are using is fractional distillation. Okay, so near about 27,000 liter of water to 30,000 liter. Okay, so near about 27,000 to 30,000 water is used to get near about 1 liter of D2O. Okay, now the second method is by fractional distillation. So by fractional distillation, we can easily prepare D2O. We can easily separate the deuterium because we all know that there is some difference in the boiling point between H2O and D2O by fractional distillation. So this fractional distillation is very efficient method to separate two components having a small boiling point difference. Okay, if any two components have a boiling point difference of less than 10 degrees Celsius, we can easily use this fractional distillation. It consists of a column with some carbon beads. Okay, with some carbon beads, and through this column, firstly the whose boiling point is smaller is firstly evaporated, and then it gets condensed. Okay, so the principle is similar to the simple distillation, evaporation followed by condensation. Okay, so the as we all know, the boiling point of water is 373.15 Kelvin, and the boiling point of D2 is 374 point I think 7 Kelvin, or it may be 374 point कुछ होता है इसका. ठीक है. Now I think 374 point something. Okay, so there is a difference between the boiling point. So firstly we use fractional distillation column, and firstly this H2O will gets evaporated. Okay, and then this D2O gets evaporated, and we can easily separate D2O with the help of this fractional distillation process. Okay, due to the difference in the boiling point. Okay, so it is a very efficient method to prepare D2O. Okay, now what are its properties? So firstly, this D2O is also colorless, even it is tasteless. Okay, so and colorless. So now the properties are very similar to water. The first property is its stability. So it can also it is not so stable as water. So it can easily separate into D2 plus O2 gas. Okay, by electrolysis. Okay, with the help of electrolysis we can easily separate. Okay, second reaction is with alkali metals. Okay, so D2O can easily react with alkali metals to form their products. Okay, and NaOD, sorry. Okay, NaOD will form. Okay, and similarly, it can also react with some metal oxides. For example, with metal oxides. Okay, so all the reactions are similar to water. For example, D2O react with NaOH. Okay, we can easily form Na2O. Okay, we can easily form 2 NaOD. Okay, so this is the whole reaction. Similarly, it can also react with some nitrides also. For example, with metal nitrides. With metal nitrides, for example, we have ALN. It can also react with ALN to give Al OD thrice plus ND3. Okay, plus ND3. So in place of H we have D. This is the only difference. Okay. Similarly, uh, it can also react with some non-metallic oxides. For example, we have P4H10, uh, P4 P2O5. Okay, for example, P4O10. For example, we have P4O10. Then it will react with D2O to form H3DO4. Okay, H3DO4. So this can also be the reaction. Uh, H3, sorry, D3PO4. Okay, D3PO4. Okay, so this is the acid which is formed D3PO4, and similarly we can also react it with some other species like SO3. Okay, SO3 से जब हम react करेंगे इसे SO2 और SO3 uh, reacted with D2O, we can easily get D2SO3. Okay, D2SO3 is formed. Okay, so these are the some important reactions of heavy water. Okay, all the reactions are similar to the simple water. Okay, all the reactions are similar. Now this D2O is formed generally by an agency, that is BARC. BARC is Bhabha Atomic Research Center, okay, which is well settled in Mumbai, and in this research institute, nuclear reactions take place, okay, and in order to stop this nuclear reactions, we use a moderator, okay, and in that moderator we use this heavy water, okay, due to its large due to its heavy atomic mass as compared to simple water, we use this D2O as moderator. Okay, so D2O is used as a moderator in some experiments. Okay, in nuclear reaction experiments, in which we have to stop the nuclear reaction with the help of this moderator. Okay, so D2O is used as a moderator in nuclear reactions. Okay, in nuclear reactions. Is it clear? Okay, so BARC is the research center. Okay, Bhabha Atomic Research Center produce a large amount of heavy water. Okay, with the help of this prolonged electrolysis or by fractional distillation, because there this heavy water is used as a moderator to stop the nuclear reactions, to stop the nuclear chain reactions. Okay, otherwise this D2O is not is quite you can say toxic, and it is not support, it is not a good supporter of life as the H2O is. Okay, uh, so that is why it is not good for us. So okay, so this is all about the heavy water. Only the main advantage of this heavy water is in nuclear power industries. Okay, so I hope you found this lecture helpful, and do revise all the topics, that is hardness, hard water and soft water, and this heavy water. Okay, and thank you so much for watching the lecture.